All right, so we've talked a little bit about how we're not responding to reality. We're responding to our own internal made-up version of reality, and we call it this collage in our mind. This collage is filled with pictures and sounds and feelings and tastes and smells about that person, that thing, or that event. And if it's yummy and it feels good, we want more of it. If it's yucky and it feels bad, we want less of it and we want to get away from it. Okay? And it has to be worth the energy it costs to do it in order for us to decide that we're going to do it. So how can we leverage this in a weight loss program to change your preferences so that we get those permanent changes that you can really live with for the rest of your life? Here's how we do that. There's only two ways to adjust the collage, and that's what we need to do. We can take information out, or we can add information in. Now, we can't just erase a thought or a memory unless there was brain damage or a lobotomy or some sort of physical intervention. Obviously, we don't want to do that. Obviously, that's not an option. So what can we do? We can add new information in that will become more dominant or push out the other information because we have that limited attention span. That is one of the things we will leverage over and over and over again, is that limited attention span and the idea that your mind, your attention is much like a stereo receiver. What that means is, imagine you have a stereo receiver and you can tune into any station you want. Well, you know, if you tune into hip hop, you're going to get hip hop and hip hop only to the exclusion of everything else. If you tune into talk radio, you're going to get talk radio to the exclusion of everything else. If I tune into classical, I get classical to the exclusion of everything else. So whatever we tune into, we tend to get that because it dominates our consciousness, and that, of course, pushes everything else out. So in the Ultimate Weight Loss Program, the way we go about adjusting your preferences, how much you like, for example, something like pizza or ice cream, right? Or how much you like something that's healthy for you, like fruits and vegetables. We're taking a look at what's in that collage, and then we're helping you to adjust that collage permanently. And that's where the magic of hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming can come into play to really help you do that. Now, before we get into how we do that with NLP, let me talk about the number one mistake people make when losing weight. And you'll quickly realize I needed to tell you everything I told you up until this point for this to make sense. So, what's the number one mistake people make? It is extremism. It is extremism. It is swinging the pendulum from one extreme to the other. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the experience, maybe you've had it, I know I have, I've seen thousands of people who have done this, where you wake up one day and you're sick and tired of your weight and you're not going to take it anymore and you can't stand the way you look in the mirror, you can't stand what the scale's telling you, and you've had it. And so you decide, you do some research on the internet, you pick some new draconian, really hard diet that tells you to only eat 600 calories a day or only drink shakes or take a bunch of pills or water fast for a long period of time. All of these strategies, by the way, are behavioral interventions that do not change your thinking or your beliefs at all, which means the minute you stop doing those behaviors, you're going to go right back to what you did before. I don't recommend fasting. I don't recommend detoxes. I don't recommend any of this stuff because any effort that's not building in sustainable, permanent new behaviors that you can live with is a waste of time. Also, most people that do fasting, water fasts or juice fasts tend to binge when they come off the back end of that, which ruins the rejuvenative effects of the fast and the water cleanse in the first place. With weight loss, it is an absolutely horrible strategy in my opinion. I've never seen it work long term at all. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. And I've done many 12, I've even done a 14-day fast before where I only drank lemonade made of organic lemons, cayenne pepper, and grade B maple syrup, if you know that one. It's called the Master Cleanse. I've also done shorter water fasts. I'm telling you, this is not a strategy for weight loss that I would recommend. It's a strategy for healing and cleaning with proper supervision, and there are places we recommend, like True North Health Center, to go and do a supervised water fast if you have serious medical conditions. That's not something we deal with. When it comes to weight loss, let's focus on strategies that will move you across the goal line once and for all. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to expand your awareness and make you more aware of how the food you're eating feels in your body, how long it lasts, and what it really calorically costs. And these are three things, what we call three core awarenesses, that we're going to add to your collage. And we'll show you how to do that through hypnosis. We'll show you how to do that with neurolinguistics. But in this process of adding things to your collage, it will adjust how you feel about that collage, which will adjust how you then behave and respond to the collage, and it will adjust whether you like or dislike. If you remember my story of Southern Comfort, you know, the day before when we saw the bottle, it was like that collage was, it was really wonderful and amazing and looked super, super yummy. The next morning, that collage was dark and grim and was very, very, very unappealing, still is to this day, and I plan to leave it that way, which means I cannot drink Southern Comfort for the rest of my life without any effort at all. In fact, I don't even like alcohol. Okay, so you know, these can be very, very powerful, and I think Tony Robbins even had a similar event like that with alcohol when he was young. So you can reprogram your mind for sure. You can be a cakeaholic and then eventually reprogram your mind where you wouldn't want to touch cake. Or you can be a cakeaholic and reprogram your mind so that you eat cake moderately if that's something that you want to do. You can do the same thing with alcohol for some people, and with other people it's just easier to not have it. So again, any program that works for you in reality has to work in reality given to givens. It has to work and be realistic and work for you in reality given to givens, which means it works for you in reality given to givens. And if it doesn't, then it's not really the right program for you, and we need to continue to make adjustments. That's what the Ultimate Weight Loss Program is all about. So we're going to add information into that collage until that collage changes. And when that collage changes, unless you do something to actively change it back, it will stay that way for the rest of your life. The second secret to that is to make a 10% shift. We call it the 10% rule. Again, most people, right, they, wake up one day, they're frustrated with their weight, they're don't like the way they look. They're like, that's it. Tomorrow, I'm going to go on this crash diet and I'm not going to eat before noon. I'm going to run 10 miles a day. I'm going to drink green juices, the first half of the day, and then only eat raw fruits and vegetables at night. And they have this really extreme diet that, of course, if they followed it, would work to lose weight. But what does it really do? It's so extreme. What they do is they start associating pain with what should be a very pleasurable event. They associate pain with what should be pleasurable. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're making healthier behavior, your healthier lifestyle feel more painful than just sitting on the couch and eating Cheetos or whatever it is. And so what's going to happen at the end is you're going to go back to what you were doing before with even more of a vengeance than you originally did. That's why when people gain back the weight, they tend to gain back the weight and some, because they're reinforcing the idea that being overweight is easier when it's not. They're reinforcing the idea that being overweight feels better when it doesn't. I can assure you it doesn't. That's our job to help convince you of that, and that's what we do in the Ultimate Weight Loss Program. So I hope you stay tuned for the next video, and we'll talk to you soon. Remember, as always, if you have any questions or if you want to just, speak with someone one-on-one, book a hypnosis evaluation, find out if the Ultimate Weight Loss Program is right for you, just scroll to the bottom of the page, put in your name and email information, someone will contact you, or you can call us directly and set it up today.